Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is Mireille, the Greatness Engineer. I'm back for the Greatness Engineering Show, the show that really here to empower you. And today we have a true champion with us. You're gonna discover her. She's amazing. Her name is Lotus Rich, and she actually have rich is a is it's a it has a French connotation. So I'm going to ask her if she has some French ancestor or whatever, but it sounds really French. Lotus French is she's an empowerment strategist, and she's the founder and CEO of Lotus Rich Ignites. And she's also the co-host of the Wellness Architect Show. And she's an author. So she's an international author. She wrote a book, a collaboration book, and she's, I think, writing another book right now. And she's also a Guinness World Record holder. So we're really dealing with real stuff here today. So welcome again after 4 months of break. And I'm really happy to bring to you the best, the greatness engineers that are engineering greatness all over the world. And today our guest is coming from the US. So my audience my global audience is going to be really pleased to know what's going on there and what what empowerment work Lotus is doing there. So let's start and let go. Hello. Hey, welcome.
So good to
How
see
are you?
I am wonderful. Good to see you all the way over there in Australia. How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm actually very excited to have you as a guest because I know that you have so much to share, and our audience is going to be so pleased today to have you and to learn from you because you have so much to share. So just to start, who are you? Because I know who you are. I know you are a true champion, but please, let our audience know the fantastic things that you've been doing and really, help them to be inspired today.
Thank you. First, I want to say thank you so much. I feel so humbly honored and privileged to be here with you today to speak with you and your audience and everybody else around the globe to help inspire them and help ignite them so that they can ignite and take flight in their life, especially at a time such as this when many people are afraid and nervous and wondering what's coming next. Well, what's coming next is this fantastic show right here. And I'm just so happy to be on here. Many of you may know me, and for those of you that don't, my name is Lotus Riche. I'm the CEO and founder of Lotus Riche Ignites. It is a coaching company. I coach individuals as well as companies who are having challenges in their lives or in their business, trying to figure out the optimal way to ignite and take flight. Many of you may say, what is igniting and take flight? Igniting is taking that very small fire that's burning inside you. And even if you don't have that small fire burning inside you, I help you ignite it by discovering what your purpose is through your passion. And I help you jump on the road to success by delineating what I don't need, what I do need, and how can I get to where I'm going. And for major companies and corporations, what I do to help them, many times they have a high turnover. So I go in and I teach them the DISC assessment. I'm certified as a DISC assessment trainer, and I go in and I help them discover which person is going to match with the right job and with the right team of people to help the team, the company, and the individual achieve overall success. So in short, that's a little bit about what I do. And yes, as Marielle said, I am a co-author. I helped to co-author a fantastic book, Mastermind by Robert J. Moore. It is called The Magnetic Entrepreneur. And there were a host of authors there like Annie Koshi, Raymond, um, what's Ray's name? Raymond Aaron, and just so many folks. I've got so many heads in my name, so many names in my head.
Can
So
imagine.
so many people. It was like 125 authors in this book. It was amazing. And I just felt so honored and so blessed to be a part of it. So that's a little bit about what I do. But it's like it's amazing because I'm here on your show and you are amazing in your own right. And you actually have a book that Raymond Aaron did the foreword on, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. My first book actually was done by Raymond Aaron. I met Raymond when I was in Johannesburg. I was
Yes.
working there in 2015.
Mhm.
And so after this encounter, I went to one of his training and so managed to catch up with him and just decided to go and write a book. And the book have actually gone viral. It was a
Awesome.
book really specified, specific to the oil and gas industry, and
Yes.
it just spiraled into the industry and helped me to brand myself
Mhm.
and really scale up my career as well the last few years. So really good, really good project, and so it's been really nice. So what I really want to ask you, because you're working with a wide spectrum of people,
Yes.
and as you know, it's a very difficult period right now.
Yes.
So you know, people need the support and they need
Yes.
the attention, the right attention to really go
Yes.
through this challenging period. So what are the key tips or the key thing that you do with with your customers or people that you help to help them, really manage this difficult period?
Okay, so I'm going to try to put this right here for you.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is we look at your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
When I speak with people, I unveil what's going on in their mindset. Because if we are to be prosperous or if we are going to fail, it all starts with a thought. So, whatever is in our mental mindset, that's what we have to either correct or enhance. And when I say correct, what I mean is a lot of times people are programmed to think that they cannot do whatever it is that God has called them to do. And notice I said
Mm-hmm.
God called them to do, not what man has called them to do. So when you look at what God has called you to do, you deep dive into the spirit of why you were called to the earth plane. And
Mm-hmm.
now some people may not acknowledge a God in their life. They may say there is a higher source. And I would say, yes, we come from source energy. So we have to really depend on our source energy. And some people say, I felt this nudge inside, or I had this thought, or I heard this whisper in my ear. Guess what? That's source energy talking to you. So
Mm-hmm.
when you lean on that, it's easier for you to step into your purpose. And oftentimes people can't step into their purpose because their mindset is a mindset of lack and not abundance. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the first things that I help people to do is come from a mindset of lack if that's where they are, because not all
Mm-hmm.
people are there. And I help them to enhance their mindset to a mindset of abundance, which purports that they can do, be, and have anything that they put their mind to. Like Napoleon Hill said, everything starts with an idea. And
Mm-hmm.
then it gravitates really into a burning desire. So when they get that burning desire, which allows them to ignite and take flight, they can move into their purpose. Now, for those who are already in the thought process of abundance, I just help them to expound on it more. And the things that they have labored on, but haven't actually been able to move forward on or to really push and move into action, I help them see what that is and take action now, not yesterday, okay? Not tomorrow, but right now. Okay.
Mhm.
That's the try. When people say, I'll try, I say, no, no, no. You can't do it yesterday. Okay. You can't do
Mhm.
it tomorrow. You got to use the R in the middle and start right now. So that's what I inspire people to do, especially in a time such as this. Because this time, right here, right now, with all that's going on, I tell you, people can be stagnated. People are in fear. And my dad used to say, it's okay to know that you're afraid. And it's okay to be depressed, but it's not okay to stay there. And
Mhm.
so I help people move from those moments of depression, fear, and stress and anxiety into the action that they want to see. Um, Gandhi told us that we should be the change that we want to see in the world. And that's
Mhm.
what we have to be. In order to be it, we've got to move into action.
Exactly. So I really love it. So in at the end, what if I understand it really well, is that in such a a challenging moment where we are really tested
Yes.
to the core, we have to
Yes.
go back to the source. We have to go back inside and really understand why we are here. What is the purpose, and step
Yes.
into our purpose. It's so powerful, so powerful. And I mean, how do you, because obviously people believe in different things. I mean,
Mhm.
some believe
Yes.
in God, some believe in
Mhm.
the universe, and
Mhm.
you also have people who don't believe in
Yes.
anything. And have you
Yes.
come across those kind of people, and how do you deal with that to
Mhm.
actually lead them to start to understand that there's something bigger than us, that they
Right.
should actually trust, and should actually go back to when they are challenged, where they see
Mhm.
that there's
Mhm.
no way.
Mhm. The first thing I do is I just seek to understand. I don't try to get them to understand me, so to speak. And what I mean by that is a lot of times people just want to be heard. And that's what I've learned in my practices when I was overseas and my practice
Mhm.
here. People want to be heard. So I make it a great point to be quiet and listen. Because
Mhm.
sometimes when we're not quiet and we're not listening, and when I mean quiet, I mean my whole body is quiet, meaning that I am facing them. I am in full communication with them. And in full communication, you're not talking, you're listening, and you're
Mhm.
looking them in their eyes. You're making that contact to let them know you're there. You're building that rapport, and hopefully you can reach so far that you are in a oneness with them. And when you're in that oneness with them, you're not judging them because they may come across as a person who doesn't believe in anything. You're not telling them, well, you're less than me or you're less than anyone else, because your concepts are different. I
Mhm.
embrace their concepts and I listen to what they're saying as well as to what they're not saying. Because many people that may say, well, I don't believe in a God, I don't believe in a heaven or a hell or whatever, that's okay, because
Mhm.
you have a belief in something. Because this is what I learned when I dealt with a person, and this is a personal experience of mine. They told me that they were an atheist. And I said, okay, can you tell me what that means to you? And so they had a belief, but it
Mhm.
just wasn't a belief in Catholicism or Buddhism or Baptist religion. It wasn't a belief in a religion. It was
Mhm.
a belief in a spirituality concept. They believed that there was a spirit within. They weren't sure how it all culminated, but they knew that they came from somewhere and that they were
Mhm.
going somewhere. So I invited them to look into that concept, look
Mhm.
into what they believed in, and I asked them to journal it. Get a journal, write down what you do believe in, and that's where we start. because you have to have belief in the belief of what you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps you to get that idea of where you've come from, that idea of where you want to go. It's not my place to judge. It's not my place to say you're right or wrong. It's my place to say you are as you are, and I accept you
Mm-hmm.
as you are. And that's where we start. That's for some people called meeting them where they are. And that's how I make that rapport. I meet them where they are. I be
Mm-hmm.
quiet and I listen. Full body listening, full body communication. And then that's how I can start to help themselves move to where they want to be. Stepping into action, stepping into what my friend She Exists, Janelle Harris says, stepping into their territory.
Wow, that's so powerful. I hope the audience is taking note because there's so much into it, and it's really powerful. And there's no way you're gonna get out of this hour without something that really
Yes,
gonna help you in this challenging moment.
yes,
As you know, we all into isolation, and
yes,
it's every our movement are limited. We have limited social contact, except with our immediate family. And I was wondering, as a coach, as somebody who actually interact with people, how do
yes,
you think we can best manage that, and how we can capitalize on that? Because at the end of the day, I mean, there's a fear of being completely negative and starting to really suffer,
mhm.
suffer internally. And for some people start to, develop some mental illness. And so I was just wondering, for people who are listening or who are struggling with being at home, all the time, and what can you, recommend?
So, one of the first things I would say is please be sure to move from fear to faith. Just like we talked about, for people that may say they don't believe, they do believe in themselves many times,
Mm-hmm.
or they believe that they've come from somewhere. So I would say move from fear to faith. In the faith, that whatever the faith is that you have, move into that faith, because that faith has a calming frequency to it.
Mm-hmm.
We are here on the earth plane, and the earth plane has a frequency. Everything that we do, it has a frequency. So what we put out returns to us.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to move in faith, move in joy, move in exhilaration, move in happiness, you have to move from the fear into the faith, into the happiness, into whatever you can envision. And so I tell people, when they wake up in the morning, start out with a prayer or a thanks of gratitude. Be grateful. The other day I was on a show and I said to people, many times when people wake up in the morning, they pop their eyes open and the first thing they do, they wiggle that big toe. I challenge you, wiggle that
Mm-hmm.
pinky toe, because that pinky toe is going to let you know for sure, you're definitely alive, and you're going to start out doing something different than the day you did the day before. And that means progress.
Mm-hmm.
Even with something so small as wiggling your pinky toe, you're starting out with a progress that you didn't have the other day. So each day, do something different. If you're home alone and you know that you need to revamp your resume.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we come out of this, companies are going to be looking for new people to bring into their organization to further enhance them. And that new person may be you, because you have skills, you have brilliance, you have greatness that you can share with corporations. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, many of you out there right here today are starting your own companies. And I
Mm-hmm.
say a double thumbs up to that, because many of us have wanted for so long to come from working for someone else, but we were afraid. But this pandemic has forced us into diving deep within ourselves and finding the resources so that we can not just stay alive, but so that we can thrive. So I say to you, revamp that resume. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, or if you're already an entrepreneur, revamp your your system.
Mhm.
Come up with new strategies to enhance your life and to be better in your company if it already exists. And if it doesn't exist and you're creating it, continue to reach out to broadcast just like this, because she
Mhm.
always has people, fantastic engineers that can help you engineer yourself from not having a business to having a business, even with speakers going from free to fee right here on the engineering program. You can learn this. You can also come over to my program, Lotus Riche Ignites, and you can find things that'll help you to step into your purpose. Another thing that I train people to do is, after they start out waking up with gratitude, go ahead and meditate. Envision yourself. See yourself where you want to be a month from now, 5 years from now. And the reason I say a month from now, because in this trying time, sometimes people can't see themselves
Mhm.
5 years from now. And if you can't see yourself in a month from now, I invite you, see yourself as where you're going to be tomorrow, and move, take action on what tomorrow is going to bring. And if you can't see yourself in tomorrow, see yourself right in this moment. Take it moment by moment, second by second, hour by hour if you have to. And then, you know what? I also invite people, call someone. Call an elderly person that you know may be living alone, or an elderly couple that they're living alone. Call them, encourage them. And who knows, they may encourage you. They may
Mhm.
teach you something new, because many of our elderly people, they are the rock of our families. And a lot of times when they pass away, a lot of the wonderful things that would sustain us, they take with them. And we can learn from them if we but give them a chance. So call someone that you know who may be shut in, who may be lonely, because you know what? I learned this week, there was a young person. I don't even know if they were, I think they were in their 40s, and they suicided this week. And being a suicide interventionist, it really grieves my heart, because I train trainers to intervene and help people prevent suicide.
Mhm.
And people are suiciding because they cannot take being alone.
Mhm.
But I'd like to invite everyone to realize you're not alone, because we have shows just like this. And thank
Mhm.
you for your show, because this show goes into households and it inspires and it uplifts people. And so I would challenge each and every one of you out there, if you have not called a relative, a friend, a coworker, a friend, or a frenemy, somebody you think you don't like, a frenemy,
Mhm.
pick up the phone and call them, send them an email, send them a text, invite them to this broadcast. And if you haven't already, like, share, and start a watch party for this broadcast. And may this go out to enrich someone's life. So those just a couple of things that I wanted to
Mhm.
share that we can wake up doing to enhance
It's
our life and
it's
fill our.
already a lot, and I think what people have to understand is that they are the co-creators in here. There's obviously a force bigger than us, but they are
Yes,
co-creators. So whatever happened to them, they have to go back to inside, take the energy that they want from from the big source. But
yes,
they're not alone as well here. Like you said, they're
right.
not alone. They can reach out to family, they can reach out to friends, they can reach out to anybody that
Yes,
that's around them, and really be generous with themselves
yes,
and generous with other people as well. They can initiate
yes,
everything instead of
yes,
waiting to get it, because
yes.
what you give you're going to get back. So that's
Exactly.
that's that's really important that they understand that. So I see that there are a couple of comments.
Yes.
Comment from Larry. Hi Lotus, love you and God bless you.
Thank you.
There's D as well. We really love the message. And so she said, "Hey, Lotus, great message." I have Ida as well. Ida, she's from the Netherlands,
Yes.
and she's going to be one of the guests next week to
Awesome.
talk about a fantastic project, fantastic TV. So she's really enjoying as well the show. So that's really really good. And I see Phyllis as well. Phyllis, thank
Yes.
you for speaking on this topic. Very artful and necessary, especially during those times. Yes, that's why we are here. We're trying to help wherever we can by, being, using our voice and trying to lift everybody, because we don't want to leave anybody behind. So that's very important. Lotus, you've obviously went through
Yes.
different things. You've
Mhm.
worked internationally, and yet you're still standing. So
Yes.
what is your secret? I mean, what is your secret? What are the key things that actually help you to keep going and to become the greatness engineer that you are now today, and the influencer that you are, not only in the US, but also now globally?
I think one of the biggest things that helps me to be where I am today is children. And we don't want to forget the children. And I say children is because when we look at children and we look at the innocence and we look at the joy that children have on a day-to-day basis, because many are moving without a care, the energy that they have inspires me to remember to stay in touch with the inner child within me, because a lot of times people take themselves too seriously. And I had a friend years ago. I was working as an engineer for Kodak. I worked for a hospital in Augusta, Georgia. And actually, I worked for Kodak, but I serviced the hospital. And one of the technicians that I'd become very friendly with, she said, Lotus, you're just too young to be so serious. I was in my 20s then. But I had a very serious job. I was teaching the doctors and the technicians how to look at the blood chemistries on the analyzers. And a lot of people depended on me, because if the analyzer was down, then people couldn't get their blood chemistry work back in time to allow the doctors to find out what was going on with them in their bodies. And at that time, I realized I really was overly serious about myself. I took myself really serious. And then I just allowed myself to be free, to let the inner child in me always be. So I'm a big joker. I love to joke. I love to have fun. I love to dance. I love to laugh. And I love to laugh with people. So that's one of the reasons why I'm so flexible and I've been able to travel abroad, because the inner child in me keeps me open, keeps me open to meeting new people and going new places and stepping out of fear into faith and having all the experiences. And I've been so many places where sometimes people would say, "Oh, you're a woman of color, you're not going to be welcome there." Well, I dispel that myth. Because when people lead with love, guess what? Their arms are wide open for you. But the big thing is that I had to lead with love first, because it really starts on the inside. So it had to start inside of me. So first of all, I had to lead with love. And I got that from my parents. My parents told me in all things, always be loving, be kind, and be caring. Don't get ran over. Sometimes people think your kindness is your weakness, but that's not always true. You can be kind and not be weak, and you can be wise and not be weak, because we are meant to be wise, but we are also meant to be love. So that's one of the primary things I do. I lead with love everywhere I go. Sometimes people say, "Well, Lotus, how are you doing that for that person? And you're doing so many things for yourself. How do you make time?" Because I put love first. And because I love each and every person on the planet, whether I know them or not, it helps me to help myself start from the inside, gravitate to the outside and send that frequency of love out to everybody and everything, even to the smallest planet, to the smallest bug that crawls beneath our feet.
Mhm.
When you lead with love, it's just like it's just like honey from the honeysuckle that just drops off. And I do this thing and I call it drop that positive energy.
Mhm.
And that's what I do everywhere I go. I drop that positive energy so people can help themselves and help somebody else ignite and take flight. Drop that positive energy. And that's how I've come to where I am today.
Mhm. And you can't get wrong with love. I mean, you can't get wrong with love. You can't. I mean, you can't get wrong when
Yes.
you're on the positive side because you're just building up on positivity, and nobody can stop you. And I think
Yes.
that's the big message that we have to remember, especially in this time of a great challenge,
Yes.
that we have to continue to spread love. We have to continue to embrace people and
Yes.
really move as one body, as one,
Hmm.
to really go through this challenge, instead of dividing ourselves and starting
Yes.
to just think about us,
Yes.
as a single entity when we are all connected. So
Yes.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message, and really, on point and on time, I would say.
Thank you.
So that's really good. One thing, because there's quite a lot of entrepreneur in the audience. I'm an
Yes.
entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur, and you know, with this crisis, we losing. I mean, a lot of people lose money or are
Hmm.
completely, stuck with their businesses.
Yes.
So how do you see that? How, as a coach, as somebody who
Hmm.
talked with, actually manage and mentor and coach people in difficult situation, how do you know? How do you think we should, react or capitalize on what's happening? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't help to just be afraid, like you said, and stand still, doing nothing. So how do you see, somebody who is, in total distress, and losing his job, or
Hmm.
not really,
Hmm.
losing his business? How do you see that, and what are the thing that you think you can recommend for them to get out of it?
One of the best things that I've learned is to look at people who have come to the earth plane and who have created greatness through the thought of mind. And Earl Nightingale is one of my mentors.
Mhm,
And I say that I've never met him in person, but I've followed his works.
mhm,
Napoleon Hill is one of my mentors. And I believe that when you have great mentors and you have to reach beyond where you're at
mhm,
and look at those great mentors. And one of the primary things that Earl Nightingale talked about was that selling was one of the primary ways that people overcome their adversities in their finances as well as in their personal lives. Especially, it helps to break cultural divides. Napoleon Hill also talks about it in his book Think and Grow Rich, because riches are for every person. It has no respect of person or color. So one thing I invite people to do while you're in your house, don't be afraid to reinvent yourself. And the way you reinvent yourself is through gaining great knowledge from people who's already done it, but who's also met failure. Because
mhm,
what I've learned is that for us to be brilliant, we have to understand what failure is.
mhm,
Most people who have failed terribly have become some of the best leaders, have become some of the wealthiest people in the world. And I'm going to
mhm.
share this book with you. Let me grab this book for you. Some people are wondering how they're going to overcome. So I'm going to share this with you. Many of you know that I'm a psychology major as well. Brian
Mm-hmm.
Tracy has a fantastic book called The Psychology of Selling. I challenge you, while you are in your home, order this book, read this book. I am not affiliated with his company in any shape, form, or fashion, but and I've not met him yet, he is one of my mentors because he talks about how many businesses in the wake of adversity often fold, and they fold needlessly. They fold because they don't understand the art of recreating themselves. They don't understand the inner game of selling. And if you look on page 17 in his book, he talks about the inner game of selling. So you have to, one, have something within your corporation that's going to bring value to people. And the reason I say that value, because people need value. Now, for me, I like to bring value to people, but there's a level of integrity that I embody when I work with people. And for me, as well as with you, I can only imagine
Mm-hmm.
that you want to have a level of integrity. So I want to put this out there. For you, what's more important to you, a dollar or value and integrity?
So, to the audience, if somebody can help us here, what's most important to you? Value or dollars? I don't. I see they are all quiet. And nobody wants to. Nobody wants to try to. For me, it's definitely value because when you bring value, dollar will follow anyway at some point.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of time. So I would take the value definitely. So
Exactly.
that's really good, and the
Right.
integrity with it,
Right.
please.
So
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, have integrity with whatever you're doing. Do what you say you're going to do and be who you say you are. And
Hmm.
also, I wanted to share, challenge your limiting beliefs. If you don't
Hmm.
think that you're going to get past this point, then you won't. But if you think that you will, then you will. You have to challenge and silence the negative, pardon me, dialogue that's
Hmm.
going on in your brain. I shared with somebody the other night on a show that I was on. I help people take the needle off the record because we have this record that's playing over and over and over in our minds. And oftentimes it's negative. It's an outward influence telling us what we should believe and what we should feel on the inside. So I challenge you, take the needle off the record. If the
Hmm.
record is playing and it's a negative record in your mind, take the needle off the record because you've got to be your best cheerleader. Cheer yourself on, surround yourself with other entrepreneurs who are moving forward, even in the wake of what's going on. Reach out to them, upbrand yourself. Robert J. Moore, Annie Koshi, Dr. Obam Bowen, just a myriad of people, Les Brown, um, just Cheryl Ivaninski, and just so many others are working together. And like we have Mr. Unstoppable himself, he made a comment, Terrence Leffridge and Wanda D. Hollis, so many folks
Hmm.
just like this magnificent show right here, are recreating themselves, are making a way out of no way. Have you ever
Hmm.
heard the old people say, Lord will make a way out of no way? Well, when you don't see no way, you got to make a way. You
You
got to
have to
find a
make a
way.
way,
That's
definitely. If
right.
there's no way, you make it.
You
You
make a
make
way.
it. Yeah. And that's how the great leaders and people who actually left a legacy, that's
Yes.
what they did, they arrive in a complete, uncharted territory, and they
Yes.
say, we're going to go through it and we're going to make a way, and for
Exactly.
the rest to follow. So that's really powerful. And one thing that I wanted to add, for the audience as well, is that when you also look at people who actually made extraordinary thing, a lot of them started, their
Yes.
venture at a moment when it was very difficult. And
Yes.
I always tell my, people that I mentor is that entrepreneurship is actually about solving problems. So
Yes.
you really want situation where you have a lot of problems, because then
Yes.
it gives you the opportunity to solve them. So I think that's the way we should look at it. And I really like the challenge, the challenge that you're giving to the audience to
Yes.
challenge their limiting belief, because it's really about our limiting belief here, and
Yes.
being focused on the end result. So
Yes.
that's really good. Let's look at, it's very dynamic here. Let me just come. Okay, I have Ida again. Always do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. And definitely,
Yes.
I had as well. So I had
Indeed.
Wendy. Yes, so many leaders are showing up to help. That's really good. Uh, D, take the needle off the record, old school. Yes. We remember that. And then need positive affirmation. Yes, positivity is always the way, and the focus as well. So let's take just a small break, and then we will come back quickly
Yeah.
here. So we're back. It was a very, very short break. Uh, just, I just wanted to know, now that we looked at, the big picture, now more into the problem that we're facing right now. What, how do you see yourself in all of this going forward? How do you see things evolving? Um, and again, what can you recommend to the audience here, given what you see,
Yes.
and where you're going in
Whew.
your life?
I see
That's a
myself as
big one. That's the
unstoppable.
big one that I always
Yes. Yes.
try to ask all the guests,
Yes.
and they're like, "Oh, that's a big question."
Yes. So I see myself as unstoppable because that's what I believe. Because for
Mhm.
me, it's all about a mindset. What I believe about myself will eventually take root and become my reality. So I want to live in the reality of abundance. I want to live in the reality of fruitfulness. But most importantly, I want to live in the reality of being healthy. So I see myself as healthy. Even if I don't feel that I'm healthy, I tell myself I am happy, healthy, and healed. And the reason why I say I'm happy because everything about me has to start with the joy of happiness inside. How can I help anybody if I'm a sad sack, if I'm negative? So I have to be happy. And I see myself as healthy. Reason why I see myself as healthy, because guess what? You can have all the money in the world. But if you
Mhm.
don't have your health, your money is not going to save you,
Exactly.
because your health is your wealth. So that's where I like to start. And then I say that I'm healed. You know why? Because if there's anything going on in my body that I don't know about, or if there's something going on in my body that I do know about, I'm calling into action that I am healed.
Mhm.
So that's where I see myself every day, happy, healthy, and healed. I see myself living in abundance and in prosperity. And every day I'm taking actions to meet my goals. And if I don't, once I meet those goals, I set more goals so that I can continue to exceed where I am today so that I can get where I'm trying to go tomorrow. And I
Mhm.
challenge each and every one of you, if you get this book by Brian Tracy, go to page 37. I want to
Mhm.
share this with you. If you can see that, it says action exercises. So every day I take action
Mhm.
on a goal, on a part of my life. I have something that I'm doing for fitness. I'm in a squat challenge with Kevin Thornton.
Oh.
He's the co presenter, if you will, or the co-host. I co-host his show actually, and
Mm-hmm.
he started us out on a squat challenge. So I do a
Mm-hmm.
squat challenge every day in the comfort of my home. And I love to dance. So sometimes I break out in a squat challenge and I'm dancing. And sometimes I go to the Unstoppable nightclub. It's a virtual nightclub that Mr. Unstoppable Terrence Leffridge created. Or I head on over and I hang
We're
out with
gonna
Wanda
have
D.
him as well
Hollis.
on soon.
Yes, yes. I hang out with Wanda D. Hollis and Janelle, and we turn up the tunes and we get people involved so that I can be happy, I can be healthy, I can be healed, and I'm exercising within my home. And so I see myself as all of those things. And I look 5 years, 10 years from now, and I see myself expanding. Right in this moment, I'm expanding my network. Why? Because I've
Mm-hmm.
been so blessed to be on your show. You know, I've been so blessed to connect with other people around the world that I haven't had the opportunity to connect with. Because, like you said, we are all connected.
Mm-hmm.
We are all connected to source energy. We are all connected to one another. And I believe sometimes it's just a matter of 6 degrees of separation. So, let me share this with you. I'm currently writing another book. You and I, we had dialogue the other day. I was asking you
Mm-hmm.
about your new books. You're writing 2 books yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm writing 2 books, one co-authoring and another one on my own. Yes.
Okay, I can't wait to get the book, y'all. I can't wait to
Yeah.
get the book. The book is going to be powerful. Both books are going to be powerful.
Both books are gonna be powerful, definitely. Yeah.
So, when are your books coming out?
So my books are gonna come out at the end of the year, and
Right,
one is strictly about the oil and gas industry, so it
right,
might not be appropriate for everybody. And
right,
another one will be again a self-development, empowering book. So really
right.
looking forward to get them out at the end of the year. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So the
Mhm.
one, the gas and oil, right? Gas and oil
Mhm.
book. I know you said it might not be appropriate for everybody, but I would challenge people to buy the book. And you know why? Because
Exactly.
in your other book, you didn't only just talk about oil and gas. It also talked about finances. You know,
Finance.
and oil and gas really affects everyone on the planet.
Mhm.
It affects your finances because you need gas to run your vehicles.
Mhm.
Sometimes you need gas to run things in your home, you know, like your stoves. Some people's stoves are powered by gas, you know.
Mhm.
um oil is it's in so many things that we use. So I
Mhm.
would challenge you to get that book because there could be some nuggets in there that's going to help you transcend from where you are to where you need to go financially, because you'll have a
Mhm.
whole different look on your finances. So I can't wait for the book.
And I think you're right because there's a lot of confusion, especially in these, climate change things,
Yes.
pollution, and we don't actually realize that every day we use product that actually coming from this industry, and if we
Exactly.
shut it down completely without transition, we
Yes.
actually going to be the ones suffering, at some point. But that's a debate for another day, and we'll see how it's gonna come out. So there's
Yes.
so a lot of comment today. I see Larry. We are all
Mhm.
created to help one another. God
Mhm.
put us here to enjoy one another by sharing His love. Fantastic. Uh, I think so Mr. Unstoppable is here, no longer 6 degree of separation, but maybe 3 to 1 degree with this social media magnet. Fantastic.
Yes.
Um, I have so Phyllis again, love and
Yes.
positive energy, great combination. Marisa, thank you. You'll be one of the first to get the book. You get a signed one, so that's fantastic. And so really, really a very empowering session. And I hope and I know that the audience really love it. And my wish is for them to really learn from it and get the inspiration to act in their own life and to
Yes.
inspire other people and to leave a legacy as well in whatever they're doing. because we all connected. They're not alone. We are here to help them, even if they don't know where to go.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, it comes down to them as well. It comes down to their mindset. It comes down to getting, to know themselves. It comes down to opening up themselves as well and spreading love and being positive and
Yes.
going back to the source when they are challenged. So
Yes.
great show today. And I just wanted to ask you for the last word. So what
Yes.
do you want people to remember, before you leave
Two
this platform?
two things. I would be remiss if I didn't share this piece of information with you all, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a new book coming up with some sensational authors, and the authors are just phenomenal. And it's a book that's spearheaded by Rosemary Sanchez
Mm-hmm.
with a myriad of authors, if you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of the wonderful folks who have been blessed to be in the book. And I just want to say a special thank you to Rosemary Sanchez for our new book that's coming out and all the authors that are being a part of it. And Lynn Herod Diverges, she's also a part of the book. So I wanted to share that. And with that being said, I just wanted to really make plain to you that I am humbly honored again for being on your show. I thank you for taking the time to spend your time with me. I really appreciate it. And to everybody that's out there listening, please continue to lead with love. And remember, yes, I do one-on-one coaching and I coach businesses. You can reach me at lotusignites@gmail.com, and I'll quickly get back with you to help you help yourself ignite and take flight. But most
Mm-hmm.
importantly, I want you to know that you are unstoppable. Please remember to step into your territory, wake up winning, and don't forget you are a change engineer. And
Mm-hmm.
don't forget that we are here for you to help you. If you're at home, if you feel like you can't take it no more, click on click on Marielle's page. Click on my page. Click on Mr. Unstoppable's page. Click on Wanda D. Hollis's page, because you're not alone. We are here
Mm-hmm.
with you. We are here for you. And we send you love and light. And remember to lead with love and ignite and take flight.
Okay, that's powerful, and it's important that you understand that you have greatness inside of within you, and you have to step into this greatness. And my motto is: don't leave anything on the table of life.
Yes.
Don't leave anything on the table. You have all the tools. You are unlimited. You have all
Yes.
the help that you can, you can have all the help that you want through us, through different people. So don't hesitate to reach
Yes.
out. So if you
Yes.
want to, get in contact with Lotus, so our email is here on the banner, lotusignites@gmail.com. You can also go into connect with her. She has a Facebook page. I'm gonna put it here for you. You can reach out to her directly. And so she's on Facebook. She's everywhere. I think she's serving us everywhere. I think So you can't miss her. She's a real champion, and she's also fully trained, especially at this moment of at this challenging moment, to support you. She's an empowerment strategist, and she's a psychologist as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to her if you're really struggling right now. It would be
Yes.
really fantastic to do that. She's also an author. You can get our books. I don't know if you have one copy here
Yes.
for our audience, so you can reach out to her.
Yes.
Um,
That's one of our books. And this is
mhm,
the Guinness World Record um,
mhm.
bracelet that I wore when we made history. But this is one of my books. You can contact me direct and you can get this book. And you can also get my upcoming book, and I'll leave it in the message below how you can get it to pre-sell. We didn't come on here to sell, but I definitely want to share it with you. The book is actually written in Spanish, and we are going to be all over it. It is targeted to be another #1 best-selling book internationally. And in a month after we publish it, we're having it converted into English. So you all are going to love it. It's a conglomerate of authors telling their stories of how they were inspired and how they came sometimes from near-death experiences to living the life that God has intended them to live. So I challenge you, if you're struggling, get this book. It's going to empower you. It's going to upshore you. It's going to help you be better than you've ever been before. And I'll leave a comment down below after the broadcast so you can contact me direct and get this book. Or you can also use my Gmail. You can contact me by Gmail if you would put that so they could see that. Yeah, you can contact me in my Gmail, and I can get the book to you once we release it. We are not going to release the book till June, I believe, but I can get you a book, and it'll be a signed copy.
Yes. So fantastic. I hope you enjoyed, this conversation. And I definitely enjoyed it. I've learned so much from Lotus today. And I always learn a lot from her. She's very wise. And I will continue to learn more because I know she has more to share. Unfortunately, in 1 hour, it's not possible to really, get everything that she has. But we might have to do a part 2 to have her back and to help us again here. So that's next week we're having some fantastic ladies. We're having the gymstic team. So they're 3 ladies based in Europe, 2 in the Netherlands and 1 in Belgium. They are fantastic ladies. They created this online TV stream and I think their dream is to actually compete with Netflix. So we'll hear about all of this next week because it's also beyond all of this. There's an inspiring story and a story of triumph. So I hope you'll be back. And I really want to thank Lotus to be here today for the time she's taken to really share her wisdom with us. We've been blessed today to have her. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Okay.
Bye.
See you soon. That was great. Thank you so much.